Happy Tuesday, Wolfpack! Welcome to the Tuesday informational vlog series with a new background. We're going to talk more about motivation. This is my fourth time recording this, and I'm telling you that because it was technical issues that caused it to happen. Sound card stuff, it was really silly. I had a cool video of me doing this and this and that and this and woo, but it did not have audio, so that really sucked. That's okay. I'm here, I'm doing it, that's how it goes. Sometimes you just have to push forward. And oddly enough, we're going to continue talking about motivation, and man, what a demotivator having to redo something is. However, that's what we're going to end up talking about today. But first, I want to go and sort of continue a conversation about motivation. And I want to continue talking about that. Now, according to one of the polls that I did on the video for A Lost Pearl, most of you all identify as independent. So you don't necessarily like letting other people do stuff for you. You want to just kind of get it done. And I am all about that. I am also very independent, and I tend to not ask for help, sometimes to my detriment. So I want to kind of go over some tips about that. But let's first talk about what you all had to say about motivation and how to convince yourself to do things. Now, the motivation is a myth concept is not something I went over, but it is an interesting one because there is a very close connotation or sort of mental image when you talk about motivation versus inspiration. And Pinkster118, I'm going to link his about page and a half or so thing in the description below as a Google Doc. But he talks about motivation being a myth and how people confuse it for inspiration and how to get inspiration back. Now, for me, inspiration isn't an issue because I'm constantly inspired, right? I have inspiration up the wazoo half the time, which is weird, right? So I have all these ideas. It's like, man, I could totally do that. And I have the capability. It's not a matter of me having inspiration or this idea and not being able to do it. It's having the motivation or the willingness to go work on it. And the crazy thing is despite that delineation made in that paragraph, again, check it out, is that it basically comes back to what I said, is just work on something. Go back to basics. Take a break, a willing break for a minute. Clear your mind and see and go back to where you belong and make sure that what you're doing is still satisfying you creatively or whatever you need to get things done. So it kind of ends up coming back to the same place. It's just a different way of getting there. And the reason I want to link it is because I found it really interesting. I don't fully agree with it, but whatever you need to do to get yourself into that space and get things taken care of, do it. You know, there's no right or wrong way to get things done when it comes to that sort of thing. So, wanted to go over that, and also wanted to talk about Ganondorf Champions thing. When you want to do something, one of the motivators is anxiety, fear of failure, fear of commitment. And you have to convince yourself to do a small step and take another small step, etc. You can see it right there. So, yes. Very much so, I believe that is the case entirely. And here's the thing about it, is that getting the small steps done is important because, for instance, one of the major demotivators is I hate taking a shower. I hate getting wet. I used to love swimming, but I hate getting wet. It ruins my whole day. And I had to take a shower because I wanted to get doing this. And I just didn't want to get up. I had my coffee. I was sitting there. I was like, yes, cool. I'm a little bit tired. I've had just a really busy last set of days. But you know what? I finally was just like, no. I gotta get this. Let me just take the shower. Let me just get there, get up, get the towel, turn on the water, right? I literally thought about it in those steps and just went there. And that got me in there. And then coming in here. And fear of failure is a huge demotivator because you know what just happened? I failed 3 times before this recording because I was in a hurry a little bit, but things didn't work as they should have. Now, there are ways to prevent that and whatever your security blanket needs to be, but I tend to fly off the cuff a lot more than most others. I'm pretty spontaneous when it comes to creating these vlogs. Once in a while, I've written a script, especially when I wanted to keep things under a certain time frame. However, YouTube has changed, so longer is slightly better as long as you stay till the end, and I hope I have not lost you, and if I have, let me know in the description. Let me know. Actually, I'm curious. Let me know in the description when you felt yourself losing focus from this video. I am just beyond curious, and it's really not a huge thing. I just wanted to know when you lost that focus point, and that'd be really cool to just see, because focus is another thing we can talk about, because focus is so hard when you're trying to maintain things. But fearing that you're not going to get it done or to the satisfaction you want to is a completely understandable thing. And doing it small task by small task, like open up, as small as open up the program, plug in your keyboard, start pounding away at it, is such a huge thing, because even if you get to the point where you're dissatisfied with whatever you're working on and be like, no, that sucks, and you just don't look behind you. Don't look at the last hour or whatever you spent on that project. Don't do that and say, oh, what a waste of time. It wasn't. You know why it's not a waste of time? Because especially in creative endeavors, you have just taught yourself what doesn't work. And mentally, you're gonna grow because of that. I have so many songs and so many projects that have just kind of stopped being good. And don't be afraid to just drop something. There's no such thing as something being so done that it just, it needs to be released, right? Sands of Time was done. I never released it until 15 years later because it wasn't good. And I kept it. I kept those ideas because you never know when you need those ideas. But you don't have to be so attached to something that you feel like you have to complete this one thing. And that's very important. Because if you're really feeling like it's not working, and you should know because you've been doing it, and you're just like, nah, this isn't good, then don't release it if you don't feel comfortable. Now, I would encourage you to, if you're not sure and are still mostly proud of it, to do the releasing, because then you can get outside feedback. Or at least show it to others and just be like, hey, I had this cool sketch going on. Finding the support network is difficult. I have a hard time with that too. I've been really lucky. But again, if you guys have any WIPs you want me to listen to, there's definitely communities and stuff. But if you're curious, if you want to show me music that you're working on or videos, just please feel free to send me an email at cyrilthewolf@gmail.com. I'd love to see them. I will make time for them. At least I have tried to. In the past, and just give me a couple of days to respond since I'm extremely busy. That's really it. I just wanted to continue the conversation about motivation, and so there's that first question, which was, when did you lose focus in this video, since we're at like the 8-minute mark? And the second thing is, what tasks do you do, because this is going to set up for next video, but I want to see, what tasks do you do that you just always procrastinate? And then the corollary to that, if you feel like it, next time you do that task, and I'm talking like even chores, time yourself real quick. Just see how long it takes you to do that thing, and just let me know. I'm curious. I've got some cool stuff I want to talk about next week, but I felt like this was more important. So, Ganondorf Champion, Pinkster118, thank you for your feedback. And as always, Wolfpack, I love to hear what you have to say, and in the comment section, I will see you next week, and hope to see you in the comments on Thursday.